So you talk about misinformation, but you've given us a ton of misinformation right now. You said, seems like nobody in MAGA even wants to talk about any of the issues of Donald Trump. Had multiple debaters come up, talk to you about multiple economic policies, compare and contrast them with Kamala, gave you great reason.
I don't think I heard any economic policy from Trump when he was in 4 years.
Okay,
What were
okay.
his economic
No,
policies?
back up. Now you're switching the claim. So what you just claimed is, I don't hear MAGA people talk about this at all.
I don't think I heard any
That's
policies
what
that were
you
brought up.
said, and
Yeah.
yes, they did. They
What were
brought
they?
up the capital gains policies. They also brought
What were the
up
capital
they
gains
also brought up
policies?
tariffs. They brought up the tariff policies. They brought up multiple economic policies. Total misinfo.
Okay.
Total misinfo for you to say they didn't. They absolutely did. Are you disputing that nobody here brought up any policies of Donald
I think that when you're talking policies from somebody,
Mm-hmm.
if the only thing you have are tariffs, it's not really a strong policy foundation.
I'm
to support
sorry.
somebody.
I'm sorry. Did you use the word any? You don't hear anybody talk about
I'm
that?
speaking like a human being right now.
Oh, but when
right?
Donald Trump
So
speaks like a
when
human being, he's a
Donald
liar.
Trump doesn't speak like a human being.
Yeah, he's
moron.
Anytime.
I'm sorry, but Donald Trump speaks like an idiot.
Would you
Yeah.
say it's misinformation, for instance? Is it misinformation when you say that a firefighter who got murdered at a rally, when you laugh at that and you say that that's totally fine, are you spreading misinformation?
I don't know if
Are
I said
you?
that's totally fine. I think I said
Yeah.
I don't really have any sympathy for
No,
people who
you
get shot at
didn't. You
rallies.
laughed about it. You thought it was funny. You didn't give a shit. You were under fire on Twitter for weeks until you finally backed
Okay.
away.
You can go
after
find, I
you
haven't
were
backed
shot.
away from any of those statements.
Yeah.
You can go find the
You
people
haven't
want.
backed away from any of them?
No, not at all.
You don't care that the guy died, right?
People died. Rallies
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, you don't care.
When this side is involved
But you
in
care
some
about
of the most
misinfo?
violent, divisive. Here's a
You
question.
care about misinfo?
Here's a question. That has nothing to do with misinfo. Here's a question.
I'll
wait.
explain how it's
Do you
misinfo.
disavow any of the
Let me-
rhetoric about Paul
let-
Pelosi? Do you
let
disavow
me-
any of the rhetoric about Paul Pelosi?
What? Even if I made any outrageous claim possible, has nothing to do with your claim, which
Do you
is what
disavow
we're
any of
talking
that?
about. We're talking about your claim.
You
Stop
don't.
switching.
He doesn't. Of course not.
Stop
he doesn't
switching
acknowledge
the
what happened on
goalposts.
January 6th. He doesn't acknowledge
And
that
you're
people are turning
filibustering.
away
You're
FEMA
filibustering.
right now
Stop
because
spurging.
they're
Stop
convinced that
spurging.
the federal government's going
Stop
to take their
spurging.
houses.
Stop spurging.
You are, you
Stop
just engage in all the
spurging
time.
in
You
answer
can say
to
stop
the
spurging over and
question.
over again. I'm not here
I'm
to
going
talk about
to.
my tweets,
Are
but if
you
that's what you really
ever-
want to talk
are
about,
you-
you do it. I've
are you
tweeted
going
crazier
to
shit than that, I
acknowledge
promise.
Are you going to acknowledge that you said totally fine? You didn't care. You just said right now you don't
go and
care.
find- you can look at all my
How
tweets.
is it now? Let me explain how
What
it's.
does that have to do with
I'm
misinformation?
going to explain how it's misinformation.
Okay.
Because don't you think that if you make claims like Donald Trump is un-American, Donald Trump doesn't like the Constitution, and then you have an assassin come, he tries to kill Donald J. Trump at a rally, another American dies. Aren't you spreading misinformation by saying to people, this is okay? Isn't that
I don't think
un-American?
I've ever said this is
Isn't
okay.
it
I've said
un-American?
over and over again that there shouldn't be any political violence in the United
That's
States. It's
great.
not good.
That's
you can laugh.
great.
You guys are the ones that
Donald
support
Trump
it.
said that at
You
January
guys deny
6th.
it.
He said it during January
After
6th.
he sat and watched it happen for 3
well,
hours.
after
when
the
he was
guy died,
only
now you're
person-
sorry about your
What-
rhetoric.
Who said I was sorry?
Yeah, you're not
Excuse me.
sorry,
Please stop
exactly.
projecting onto me.
Not
I never
sorry
said I was
at
sorry about
all.
anything.
Yeah, you don't
I've not said that. Yeah, unlike you, I have a spine over the things that I say, okay?
No,
Number one.
okay.
Number two, Donald Trump and your side are the ones that have engaged in divisive rhetoric for years. This idea that saying Donald Trump is un-American when Donald Trump himself says that he would be a day one
Divisive
dictator,
rhetoric
and he would
is fine.
suspend the Constitution. I'm sorry,
No,
if the divisive
there's a
rhetoric
difference
is
between
quoting
divisive
Donald
rhetoric
Trump
and
against you,
assassinating the
that's
guy.
Donald Trump's problem. Maybe he
Your
should
rhetoric
say
has
things that are
led to
un-American.
assassination attempts, and one of the guys who died there, you don't even give a shit, and I've said this multiple times. And at the same time, you're like, oh, I love America. What kind of bullshit is this, Destiny?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
when you guys start
unbelievable.
taking accountability for some of the crazy things that you say, come and talk to me, okay? Come and talk to me.